Someone said, you are a furry. Hi, troll. You're not welcome here. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca, if we have never met before, but the chances of you finding this video and it being the first video of mine you're watching is extremely unlikely, so we'll skip the niceties. Today I'm going to be doing a video that I have seen a few other YouTubers do. Actually, a lot of YouTubers do. I feel like every YouTuber has done this, including one of my best plant friends, Nicole from My Clean Leaves. So I'm kind of jumping on her bandwagon and copying her and also doing this video. Plus, I figured it would make great entertainment for anyone in quarantine and a great opportunity to learn more about who I am if you want to know more about who I am. So today I'm going to be doing a video where you guys assumed things about me and I will confirm or deny them. This is a mint medley tea. I love mint tea. It's like my favorite thing ever. This is a combination of spearmint and peppermint tea and it smells divine. Oh, I forgot to put sugar in it. So I've looked through a few of these and there's some funny ones in here and I'm ready to answer them. So if you are ready to learn more about me, keep on watching. The first one is from Allie's Plants. Hey girl, it says, people love to be around you because you're such a kind person. That's really nice. And I would like to think so. I think that I am kind. I mean, I am always looking out for other people and I think that my friends like to be around me, so I'd say that's true. All right, so the next ones are related, so I'm going to use them together. And the first one is you get annoyed when people comment on your age, and the second one is I assume you're older, like close to 30, in a good, mature way. So I wouldn't say that I necessarily get annoyed. It just sometimes, I'm very sensitive, so sometimes it just hurts my feelings when people think that I'm like way older than I am. And I feel like people think that I am older because I am married and established in my career. I was a teacher and now I work in marketing. So I think with that, it just kind of, maybe I come across as being older. I've been told my whole life that I'm an old soul, all of these things. So I think that all contributes to people thinking I'm older than I am, which I guess is fine right now. I'm 23. I will be 24 on March 31st in a few days. It really doesn't bother me that much, but if someone thought I was older because I looked older, I think that's when it would hurt my feelings because I don't want to look older than I am. And I think that I look my age. So when people think I'm not 24, it's like, well, I moisturize. So my husband is 6 years older than me, or 5 or 6 years older than me. It just depends on the time of year. And he still gets his ID checked and I don't. So it's like, I just can't win, you know? He has a baby face. Okay, the next one is you are an introvert. And that is true, I am an introvert, and I didn't know that I was an introvert for most of my life. In fact, I kind of was in denial of it because my perception of introverts was kind of like the shy, weird people in the room, and me being the, you know, honestly, really insecure person that I used to be, I did not at all want to be that person. I wanted to be seen, I wanted to be heard, I wanted to be the loudest person in the room, the funniest person in the room. And as I've grown older, and especially throughout college, I just learned the value of listening. With that, I kind of realized that that is who I really am. And I also read the book Quiet by Susan Cain, and that really resonated with me in so many ways, and so that was kind of the thing that helped me to realize truly that I am an introvert, and introverts have a lot to add to this society that oftentimes is ignored because they're not the loudest people in the room. People often confuse introverts with shy people, and I thought for so long that because I'm not shy, I'm not an introvert. Whether or not you're an introvert is really determined by where you get filled up, and for me, my energy is filled up. My tank gets filled up when I'm alone. The next one is you have a secret wild side, but not in an inappropriate way. Like you are fun to party hard with. I think that's so funny. I would say yes, I do have a secret wild side, but my wild side is very tame and, you know, all things considered. But I do really enjoy like dancing and laughing, and I'll have a drink. I can definitely like get down on the dance floor, and I think that I come across super mellow. And I'm actually pretty hyper a lot of the time, and I don't know, I have a really loud laugh. Like, people compare my laugh to Julia Roberts, which is a huge compliment, and I don't deserve that compliment, but that is what people say. So I would say that I am a secret wild girl as I drink my tea. Okay, is it I'm gonna get a little wild here and see if it's cold enough yet to drink. Okay, the next one is you put others' needs ahead of your own. I am a person who considers how a decision or a situation will affect other people first. Like, I'm an empath to the highest degree. When I see other people cry, I cry. I cry in every movie. And that's not necessarily related to this, but I don't know, I just definitely am always thinking about how things are going to affect other people before I even think about it for myself. While it seems like a good thing to consider other people first, it isn't all the time, and so when it's to the extreme, which I can sometimes be, it's not good. You seem to possibly be critical of how others spend money on home decor. Quote, just thrift it. No, I don't think that's true. I definitely do not judge how other people spend their money, because I think if you work hard for your money, you deserve to spend it however you want. And that's totally not my place to ever judge somebody for that kind of stuff. I actually love home decor, and I just have never been a person to splurge a lot of money on that kind of stuff, just because I don't find that stuff super valuable to me. But do I look at other people's homes and see all their decor and think, I wish that I could just bite the bullet and go to Home Goods and just buy all this stuff? Absolutely, I do. But because it just doesn't seem like something that I want to spend my money on, I do turn to thrifting more often, because things from thrift stores are so much cheaper. I can make things on my own. I really like making things, and I think from a young age I have really enjoyed just DIYing and making things how I want them to be. It's also really hard for me to like walk into home decor stores and see all the things and not have the thought like, oh, I could probably make that for like a third of the price. It's honestly an illness, like yeah. So of course I don't judge anybody for whatever they spend their money on, their home decor or whatever. But do I think that thrifting is probably a better use of my personal money? Yes. Okay, I got 2 about this. You cuss pretty frequently in your day-to-day life. I would say, yeah, I do. Maybe like a few words every day. I don't know if that's pretty frequently, whatever that means to you. I grew up in a home where we did not curse, so it kind of like once I started, it was like, ooh, this is really exciting. I am pretty good at holding it back, but sometimes like, I can't help it. Another fun, quick one. You love Trader Joe's. Yes, girl, I love Trader Joe's so much. Trader Joe's is like my favorite grocery store. I wouldn't do my like weekly grocery shopping there, but I would go there for like the little fun things. I just love Trader Joe's like specific products, like Trader Joe's brand things, sauces and seasonings, and the what did I just buy? It's like the seasonal pastry that's a big disc. Strudel, Krugel? What is it? I love Trader Joe's, and you should too. Next assumption is you wear the pants in your relationship. No. I don't, honestly, like I feel like everyone says this, but I don't think either of us wear the pants. We kind of just are a team. I don't know. I feel like when someone wears the pants, I don't know, I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but perhaps they're more out for their own interests than their partners. I don't know, that's just what my view of wears the pants is. So I don't know, I don't feel like one of us is like ruling over the other in any way. And we kind of come to agreements together. Money is not a concern for you. I think that it is and it isn't at the same time. My relationship with money has really changed over the years, and I'm definitely not in the place that I want to be as far as that goes. There was a time in my life, like in college, just a few years ago, when money was super, super tight. I have been pretty much completely financially independent from my parents since I started college. And so with that came a lot of responsibilities, like working almost full-time all through college and paying my own rent, paying my own car, all of these different things, taking loans out for school because the American school system is out to get us. Cheers to that. Now, obviously, I am more established in my career, so it doesn't feel like as big of a thing. But as your life develops, you get more and more things to worry about financially. So with that being said, I do meet my basic needs pretty easily. And then everything else, I try to save as much as I can. The next one is you are Hispanic. Yes, I am Hispanic. I am half white and then a quarter Cuban and a quarter Mexican. And this is something that I have very recently sort of dug into, this Hispanic part of me. Well, number one, I didn't have contact with that side of my family for most of my life, just for lots of reasons. So with that being said, I just kind of lost connection with that part of who I am. And now in this stage in my life where I'm in my, like, getting into my mid-20s, I'm just now realizing this, that, like, I am Hispanic, I am a woman of color. So yeah, I am Hispanic. I am definitely not culturally Hispanic, but I would like to keep discovering that more and more. It's something that I'm really interested in, and I don't know, I have some books, I'm doing some reading up on the subject, but I do really feel connected to Hispanic culture in that I grew up around it, so it has always been something that I've been familiar with, but just not on a personal level. I've always been an observer. Even though it is who I am, I just haven't really been a part of it. I'm interested to see more of what that journey looks like. You had good grades in school and are smart. This is multifaceted. So in elementary, middle, high school, I was not a kid who really super cared about grades. I did have things that I really liked in school, like writing and reading, and I guess I liked history a little bit. It was more interesting to me than math and science. But I've always loved reading and writing from a very, very young age, and that is what I focused on the most, and everything else was kind of pushed to the wayside. So I always did well in those classes, like my whole education, and then in college, those were the only classes that I took, besides the gen eds, which your girl struggled with math in college, let me tell you. But once I was finished with all that kind of stuff and I was just taking English and linguistics classes, it was a lot easier for me, and I did finish college with a pretty good GPA. I'm not going to flash it around, but I was really, really proud of myself, and I think that that just shows that certain students have strengths in certain things, and it's really important for us as a society, as parents, as teachers, to nurture that. Because had I not had teachers who really nurtured my ability to read and write, I don't know who I would be right now. So I'm really, really thankful for having such awesome English teachers my whole life. I still look up to them. There was a student that I had who was just not that great at math and science, but in my class in English and history, he was so good. He was a student that made me laugh and honestly inspired me a lot of the time. But we would sit down and talk with all of his teachers, and I would hear what his math teacher had to say and what his science teacher had to say. And sometimes the way that they talked about him was really sad, because I imagine that's how my teachers talked about me. And I don't know, I don't want to get emotional, but I get emotional when I think about my past students. But he just had so much opportunity and so many things to give to this world. And just because he's not a math nerd or a science nerd doesn't mean that he can't contribute to society. Why am I getting emotional? What's going on? But maybe it just also like cuts really deep, because I wonder what my teachers used to say about me. And if they could see me now, what would they say? Okay, laugh it off, laugh it off. You're very organized and clean, and you don't like messes. If you could see the room I'm sitting in right now, this would have never come up. I think that I am selectively clean and organized. I will let things stay messy for a little while, and then I just kind of like, and I have to clean everything. So I'm kind of having that moment right now, being in quarantine, like realizing how messy my house really is, and just like looking around, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to clean everything. So something that I don't like is I don't like clutter, and that can be really hard as someone who collects something to not have clutter, and also living in a really small space makes that pretty difficult. And so, I don't know, I've been feeling kind of overwhelmed with my plants lately, just with how many I have, and it feels like I don't have enough places for them, but there's none that I want to give away. So I don't know, kind of having a bit of a struggle with that recently. When I'm working or when I'm focusing on something, I need the place around me to be clean for me to be able to work well. Because if not, I'm constantly distracted by how dirty the coffee table is, or the dining table, or the kitchen. Like, I can't do anything until the area around me is clean. Okay, so I'm going to combine these two. You eat pretty healthy and not a lot of junk food, and you don't like spicy food. So I definitely do try to eat healthy, because why not? I always grew up with healthy eating habits. I was a dancer and then a cheerleader, so I kind of had to be healthy and eat nourishing foods, or else I would feel sick. So I've just kind of kept that with me my whole life, and that isn't to say that I like count calories or I'm a health nut by any means. Like, I am not a health nut, but I do pay attention to the types of food I'm putting in my body, and I can feel it when I'm not eating well for a long time. And then spicy food. I like spicy food to a certain degree. I don't like spicy food that is like painful to eat, but I do like eating things like curry or salsa with a little bit of a kick, because, I mean, eating salsa that isn't a little bit spicy kind of just tastes like you're drinking tomato sauce. The next one is you always try to acknowledge your flaws and better yourself. I think recently, yes, I'm much more susceptible to that kind of criticism. I've definitely acknowledged my own flaws and I am keen to improve myself in any way that I possibly could, whether it be through learning or just talking to new people and getting, I don't know, just like different perspectives from different types of people out in the world. I really, really enjoy that. That's why this account and like plants has been so awesome, because you get to connect with so many different people and just kind of, I don't know, be an observer. And when you observe, you're able to reflect on yourself and your own life and your own habits and alter things if you don't like what you see about yourself, or just like implement new things. So I think that I'm always doing that. You don't get angry often, but when you do, you're a ball of fire. That is extremely true. I am an Aries. That is my sun sign. And I always believed my whole life that I was not an Aries. I felt more like a Pisces for a lot of my life. And I am technically on the cusp. And if you are not into astrology, I mean, I'm not really into astrology, but from what I know about it, this is my assertion of myself. I think that I do exemplify a lot of Pisces and Aries at the same time, and they kind of feel like opposites. But as I've gotten older, I would say that my temper has gone a little bit worse, and I am a little bit more quick to anger, especially with like people that are really close to me, like my family. I'm not like that with people that I've just met or I'm like friends with, but with like my husband or my sister or my mom, I'm like very quick to be like, brah. And it's not a great thing, but I acknowledge that about myself and I work on it when I can. I'm usually pretty good now at like saying, hey, I lost my temper. I'm sorry. Hey, come here. Do you want to weigh in on a question?
What's the question?
You don't get angry often, but when you do, you're a ball of fire.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get out.
Like, what do you want me to say? Like, anything I say, it's gonna be.
No, it's not.
I would agree. You got something in your teeth. Just want to let you know.
What? What's in my teeth?
Just want to let you know.
Okay, my camera is dying, so I need to hurry it up here. Someone said, you are a furry. Hi, troll. You're not welcome here. The next assumption is you're a morning person. No. Far from it. The furthest thing from a morning person. Last night I stayed up until like 1:30 in the morning without even realizing it. Like it was a complete accident. I was just living my life, doing my thing, and then I looked at the clock and it was 1:30 in the morning and I was like, oh, so that's what we're doing here. So definitely not a morning person. I'm just very, very grumpy in the morning. And I'm not a coffee drinker. I will drink tea sometimes, but it's not something that I'm like, I need my tea. I kind of live off my own energy here. And when I'm feeling like I'm low on energy, I'll eat something like nuts or something with energy giving things. I don't know. That's always something that people are surprised by. I assume you'd live in Italy if it were an option for you and Daniel. Absolutely. I would love to live in Italy. I think Italy is the most beautiful place in the whole world. It has so much to offer. It has mountains. It has oceans. It is everything that I would ever want in a place. Okay, the next one is Nicole and Adam tell you all the YouTube tea, but you don't let anyone know that you know. Okay, so here's the tea. There is a lot of tea in the plant community, whether it be between plant people, plant sellers, plant personalities, whatever it may be, there's tea, and that is just a fact of life. I don't know, as much as plants are a very pure place on the internet, it's not always like that. There are certain things that have happened that I have known a lot of details about, and I have taken a personal stance, but I have just chosen not to talk about it publicly on my channel because to me, this is my brand and my business, and I just don't want to bring that into this. I don't judge anyone who has at all. I mean, that is their prerogative, and I do support certain people behind the scenes, and they know that. Okay, the next one is you want to quit your day job when you can. I'd say I'm not rushing to quit my day job because, I don't know, I know that De La Plants could someday be like a full-blown company that has employees and whatever else. Like, I see that that could be a possibility someday. I like where we are right now with all of this, and I like just being able to put out content that I want and not having to rely on YouTube for income because that's really stressful, and I don't really want to put that on you guys either. When the day comes that I could quit my day job, I would probably just go part-time or be an independent contractor with them. I don't think think that I would ever want to lose that. All right, so the last one that I'm going to answer today is you grew up around gardening. And that is a very true assumption. I did. I have very sweet memories of gardening with my parents, with my grandparents, and just like looking around at all of their beautiful flowers and plants. My great grandma, she had a really beautiful garden, and my grandma, I have memories just digging around in the dirt looking for worms and planting things in my parents' backyard, all of these things. So plants have always been a part of my life, and that's probably largely why I own plants now. They've just always been around, and it would feel weird to not have plants at some capacity in my life. So definitely thanks Mom and Dad and Grandma and Great Grandma and everybody else for getting me into this, because I don't know who I would be without plants. I love it, and I'm really glad that I have this like family legacy of information to draw upon. So that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. I hope that this provided some fun entertainment or distraction from everything that's happening right now. If you are interested in hearing more about my life, or you want to see more behind the scenes, I do have an entire playlist on my channel called Lifestyle Sundays, and those videos are basically just lifestyle vlogs where I share with you what's happening in my life and take you through weeks of my life or just certain projects I'm working on. They are vaguely plant related, but more just about me and my life and what I'm doing. So if you like this kind of content, definitely check out Lifestyle Sundays and pay attention on Sundays for uploads similar to this. All right, guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye.